guys, welcome to my channel Among.stouts. If you're new here, my name is Samantha and I am a new homeschooling stay-at-home mom of 4 kiddos, and we are getting really close to finishing up our first year of homeschooling. In today's video, I wanted to share with you guys all about some things that we are looking to change as we move into our second year of homeschooling. And this video is in collaboration with my new friend Holly over at Nestled Valley Farmhouse. And she is also in her first year of homeschooling as well. And so you guys will see on her channel some things that she is looking to change from her first year as she moves into her second year of homeschooling as well. So I will have Holly's video and her channel linked in my description box. So make sure you guys go over there and check out her video. And while you're there, go ahead and look through and find more videos of hers that you are wanting to watch, and go ahead and subscribe to her channel. She has videos on homeschooling, homesteading, budgeting tips, and all things frugal, and I really love it. It's all mom lifestyle, and her channel is really fun. I have myself gotten really good tips on how to do some things cheap and easy in my homeschool, gotten some budgeting tips, and she's got lots of other encouraging and helpful videos on her channel. And so go ahead and head over to her channel and watch her video on things that she's changing as she heads into her second year of homeschooling. Subscribe to her channel and go ahead and watch some of her other videos. I'm sure that you guys are going to be encouraged and you guys are going to enjoy her channel just as much as I do. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into my video as I'm looking at things to change from my first year of homeschooling going into my second year of homeschooling. So first and foremost, one of the things that I'm looking to change in my second year of homeschooling is putting less pressure on myself to get in a ton of different read alouds. One of the things that I noticed, and one of the things that a few of my homeschooling friends told me about when I first decided to homeschool was read alouds. Read alouds are amazing. Do them in your home. Your kids will enjoy them. I feel like almost everywhere that you look in the homeschool community, read alouds are like highly suggested, highly recommended. And while I do love reading aloud to my kids, I feel like I put a ton of pressure on myself in this first year to read a set amount of books, and also to be able to add into more read alouds as far as our history and CC went. So I picked a really great list of family read alouds, number 1, and that I think was about 8 to 10 books that I even planned out on when exactly we were going to read them, what month we were going to read them, and almost instantly in our first 2 months of homeschooling, I got behind on that schedule. And because I'm such a schedule organization kind of person, getting behind in things that I schedule out really give me stress because I want to stay on track. So I think first and foremost, when I do pick our read alouds, I'm not going to schedule them out. I'm just going to let them flow in our homeschool, just kind of like our homeschool routine is. I try not to schedule our day in time slots, but rather as a flow and a routine. And I think I'm going to do the same thing as far as read alouds go. I will pick our books, and when they work, we will read them. And when we're done with it, we'll put it aside and start a new one. Instead of trying to create a rigid schedule around when to read what books. So on top of the books that I had picked for our family read alouds, I also bought tons and tons of books that paired well with each week of our CC history memory work sentences. And so then I was just adding in another book. And as you know, here in our homeschool, we do really enjoy the Gather on Homeschool units. And if you've done those, there's even more reading there. And then I have a pre-reader, early reader 6-year-old, and so I'm reading all of her stuff to her. And to say that I got burnt out on reading is an understatement. So I'm going into the next homeschool year with much less pressure on read alouds and just kind of letting them naturally happen in our homeschool when they fit in and when they work, rather than being so rigid with it all, like I already mentioned. Okay, so number 2, one of the things that I want to change from our first year of homeschooling into our second year of homeschooling is spending more time outside. As you all know, my kids were previously public schooled, and I worked in the public school system, and I'm used to again with the scheduling in time to be outside and spending more time inside. And so what I want to do is I want our day to be more fluid and to also like be willing to take our schoolwork outside, do it at a park, do it in our backyard. We have a really nice backyard. Like our backyard's really nice and fun to hang out in. So I want to spend more time out there. I also want to get to the parks and the trails more often. I know that the first part of our homeschool was a little bit tricky with that, with everything going on with COVID. And in the beginning, even here in Texas, some of our parks were taped off and some of our trails were gated up and we couldn't go and do those things. And we kind of just got used to being at home outside of like going to CC on Fridays. And so we got used to like that being at home and we just didn't get outside much. So I definitely want to make that change next year of like getting some fresh air, getting the sun, and just spending more time outside and enjoying nature. God's canvas is beautiful and we need to spend more time enjoying it and being in it and appreciating it. So that's a huge goal for me for next school year, is to get outside more. Okay, number 3, and this is for as far as classical conversations go. With it being our first year, I didn't really take seriously all of the CC memory work, and definitely none of the memory work as far as essentials go. Like my son hardly did anything that he had to memorize. I just didn't put a lot of pressure on my kids to do that. So my girls are naturally more musical and creative in a way that my son isn't. So the songs at CC worked really well for them. And so even though I didn't spend a ton of time at home doing the songs or doing a whole lot of memory work with them, like we did a few things, like I mentioned in my classical conversations video. We did some videos and we did some songs, and that was kind of it, like once a week, if that. And I kind of want to take the memory work more seriously this year, especially the science, because I have been on the fence on whether or not to add science into our homeschool, and I'm leaning more towards not doing it and just taking the CC memory work more seriously, which includes the science, and making it work better for us and more for us in our homeschool. So we're not adding in so much extra stuff. I'm actually really interested in trying a couple of the science unit studies from The Good and the Beautiful. They look really neat and really good. And there's also a couple coming out from Gather on Homeschool next school year that I plan on adding to our homeschool. But outside of what I may choose from those two, I'm not buying a particular science, like full year science curriculum. I just want to take memory work seriously, and with a bigger emphasis on getting my kids to memorize those science pieces. Okay. Number 4, for what I want to change for next year is less busy work. I feel like busy work has its place, especially here in our homeschool, but not the amount that I thought that I needed, because a lot of the busy work things that I bought for my kids have only a few lessons done in them, and now we are looking to pass them on in a garage sale, or maybe seeing if some of the CC families that we are around want them or something like that. But we have a couple of those books that we just stopped doing because we didn't need that much busy work in our homeschool. So mid-year or midway through the school year, I really simplified my kids' schedule. And when I did that, all of the majority of the busy work that we had we didn't have room for it anymore. So my intentions for next year are to add in busy work that is going to be fruitful, and that make it more individual to my kids on what they really need some extra help with, so that in between, like in some of the spaces where there is a little bit of busy work needed, I'm giving them things that they specifically need a little bit more practice on, to help them, like to reinforce whatever it is. So for my 9-year-old, that might be like an additional multiplication sheet, maybe some vocabulary for my son, and like some handwriting or spelling for my daughter. But outside of what's in their curriculum, I don't want to add in too many other busy work workbooks. And so that goes into number 5. The 5th thing that I am planning on changing from our first year of homeschooling into our second year of homeschooling is less workbooks. A lot of the workbooks that we have, it goes right with number 4, we're busy work. But I really appreciate the Charlotte Mason approach, as well as the classical approach, where you're doing things through memory and song or through living books. I really appreciate that, and I like that aspect. And so I want to continue on with that. We did a lot of that for history this year, using living books to match with history sentences from CC. I really like combining like the living books with the memory work. So as far as the workbooks go, we had like our language arts workbooks, we had geography workbooks, we had literature workbooks, like we had workbooks galore. And I just really want to simplify all of that. And if you guys saw my curriculum haul from The Good and the Beautiful, I will link that down in the description box if you haven't seen that yet. But one of the things that I'm doing that is going to help me out with that is I'm switching my 2 youngest over to The Good and the Beautiful language arts. And I'm doing that mostly because it combines so much, it combines so many subjects into one book, and that is just, it makes it so much more simple in your homeschool. Now I'm not saying like the work is going to be necessarily easier, but being able to have all of that in one curriculum book, I think it's going to save us time, it's going to save us space, and honestly, it also saves us money. So I really appreciate that. I'm excited to give it a try this year. My girls are excited to try it out. My son wanted to go ahead and move forward with doing his language arts with master books, which is totally fine. And then I kind of simplified some other things for him as far as like just using printables and things like that. So I just want to manage our space, our time, and utilize our family budget a lot better. So I think less workbooks, less busy work are going to make a huge difference in our homeschool, how our routine flows, how our days flow, and really honestly with attitudes in our home. So guys, those are the 5 changes that I am planning on making from our first year of homeschool as we move into our second year of homeschooling. If you guys are also first year homeschoolers, let me know what are some changes that you're planning on making in your homeschool as you move into your second year. And if you're veteran moms, give me some tips or ideas. Maybe you have a different change that I need to make if you've been watching my videos along. Like I've mentioned in videos before, I'm always looking for ideas and suggestions. I love taking in your guys' feedback and implementing what I think will work for us. So never be afraid to leave me suggestions in the comments. I really do read every single one of them. I also try to reply to every single one of them, and I'm really appreciative whenever you guys give me some helpful feedback. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to head over to Holly's channel over at Nestled Valley Farmhouse and give her video a watch. And don't forget to subscribe to her channel as well. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!